name, it might disappear. So now I'm just gonna select this face
Okay.
with the quick selection tool. I will click Ctrl J to create a copy of my selection in a new layer. As you can see, I created a new layer with the shortcut Ctrl J. Okay, shall I repeat?
No, مش الحال. Thank you.
Okay, good. So now I'm just gonna turn off the other layers and I'm gonna go with creating some filters to this image. This option here, filter and then filter gallery. It's a gallery which you have many different filtering options. You have artistic, brush stroke, distort, sketches, stylize, and textures. I'm gonna show you some of them. Here is a preview. For example, in textures, you have mosaic tiles, texture, stained glass. These are automatic textures which you can get from Photoshop. And also you can control their sizes. For example, in this way, I made a bigger one. It looks like a puzzle, for example. You can make the grout larger and smaller. You have full control on these textures. Make it lighter or darker. According to the image, according to what you want to change in the picture, you have control. For example, this one. This is another style, glowing edges. I'm gonna increase the brightness. Of course, these are not just for textures and filtering. You can use those filters and then add another filters later on for sure. For example, here you have sketchy. Just like on, you can change their pressure, the area of how much you need to have it, graphic pan, many others. This is a glass texture, for example. So for today, I'm gonna be using the poster edge one because I want to make a cartoon effect. You can try them out later on for sure. So the poster edge, I want it a little bit edgy to have a funnier look. You can increase the intensity as you wish. Um, I want to have it strong, thick edges. I'm making some outlines here, as you can see, of the expression and the hairline and everything. This I'm gonna be using for the color, so for now, let's keep it like this better. So this is one layer I got. As you can see, I didn't copy the layer one at first, so here is an issue for me. but that's not a problem. So I'll copy another layer for me to edit another part of the image. Everything is good for now.
Yes,
So
everything is clear.
I'm gonna duplicate this layer again. Not this layer. And better to make another selection again. So while I'm selecting, if I want to remove my selection, I will click Alt to get minus sign on the circle. So I will remove my selection, and if I remove the Alt key button, I will be able to add more selections. So now I'm just gonna click Control J to create a layer with my selection. As you can see here, I did some outlines, and this outline, now I want to turn this image more into just black and white effect. It's gonna be based on more outline, so I'm gonna name it outline. And now I'll add some another filters, which is adding some noise, reducing some noise will just remove the sharpness of the image. I'm unable to see any preview. Let's forget this for now. I want to play with the color, so I'll go to saturation and give some hard color saturation. Maybe this is better to work with the color. So to have more bold lines, we'll go to threshold. I want to repeat this one. In outlines, I went to the lower part where you can adjust some, make some adjustments. I clicked threshold, and from threshold, I am controlling how much darkness I want in this image. If I wanted maybe darker parts or no lighter to have some boldy effect. And this is the outline part. So for now, I'm just gonna close the layers so I won't be interrupted with the lines. We did some lines, outlines, which are cartoony effects, let's say. And now I'll go to the new layer I created. I'm gonna duplicate in case I needed the original one. So this is another layer, and I'll go to the filters. From the filters, I'm gonna play with the color a little bit. So either I can use the filter gallery, from which I will go to some brush effects, maybe this one, or cutout, or underpainting. No, it's so blurry. According to how much texture you want in the image. Maybe this one would be your preferences, but I guess I'll go with this one to have some many other colors. Here we can control the levels, as you can see, according to what kind of image you want to create. I guess this one is better. Shall we have it more edges? I guess no. So you have to play with the effects to know what is your want. And this is what I think is good for my image. I will go with this one. So once I created this one, I will add another filter, which is oil paint effect here. And some of the so Photoshop, they are found in stylize. So it it is either in stylize section or here above it. So oil paint to have it more stylization. It is cleaned. I don't want it cleaned. So this is some scratch effect. The scale is something like this would be more effective. I'm gonna minimize the stylization. Well, stylization. I wanna clean the image a little bit more. This is how you got a washed image. I guess this is a funny one. I don't want to change the shiny or the direction, or we can give some directions. Okay, it looks fine. So once we created this one, now I'll add some color effect, some saturation, and make it more vibrant looking red, maybe, yes. And as you can see, this was our outline, and this is the color I did. Now I'm just showing you how you can change the effect and play with the boldness to have both images multiplied together. I will select both and go change to the normal and to multiply, and this is what I got. Since my threshold is so strong, I got that one. So here I can play with the threshold and give it some less level of outlines. As you can see, this is why I did a threshold to be able to have control. This is something, a funny effect. Also, you can play with the colors, as I had told you earlier. Adjustments. Color balance. So here is it. Let's say we want it a bluish person. But the threshold is so strong here. So I will lower the threshold effect here. As you could see, maybe the color balance didn't fix the image much. So as you can see in the image, there is a lot of dots and elements. I'm just gonna go to the outline, image, and no, I'm just gonna remove some noises. So reduce the noise. Okay. This is an effect we got. Okay. Do you have any questions? Are you able to follow up? Is everything okay?
Yes, everything is okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to ask you about your opinion and what you'd like to learn more in Photoshop. Maybe what you want is different than what I'm explaining, to go with a more fluid and to be able to teach you something you really want to learn. I want to ask all of you to tell me what you'd like to learn for later on for the next sessions. Okay? Shall I say name by name or you'd go? For example, Angela, what is your expectation to learn from a Photoshop session?
I don't know. Um,
Don't know. Okay. Anna
maybe put
Maria,
two photos together.
I did explain it, didn't I?
No, I don't think Lara you did explain stitching
No, you
pictures
did.
together.
No,
مثل
you didn't. Sorry.
collage أو شيء.
Wait, please. Angela, I want to know what do you mean. If you mean putting two photos on top of each other, multiplying an image, so you can see the two images together. This is what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. I'll talk about it soon. Anna Maria.
Thank you.
أنا عملناها مرة إنه like to change the color into the picture like the object that I wanted to change the color. We
Okay,
did it.
you did it. And adding texture also, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, Crystal.
أشياء أكتر عن ال colors إنه مثلا كيف نحن عم نعمل فلتر مثلا بالفوتوشوب إنه كأنه عم نعمل فلتر للبيكتشر
Okay,
أو
Clara. You have anything to say or no?
No.
No? Okay. Sorry, but okay, I can't hear you. Fatima.
نختي رندر شي
Rendering something.
بلانز مثلا أو شي.
Plan. Okay.
أوكي بس هيك.
You're learning interior design.
لا بعدني أنا ترمينال
Sorry, بس I couldn't hear you. Sorry, فيكي تعيديها please. Okay, it's okay. Giovanni. No answer. What's happening? طيب هلا. طيب, does anybody of you wanna add something? They wanna learn something?
أنا كنت عم بحكي، ما بعرف إذا سمعتيني شو قلت.
إيه لا, I couldn't hear you.
كنت عم أقول لا أنا ترمينال السنة، بس عندي فكرة من قرايبيني هيك هن فايتين هيك اختصاص كرمال هيك.
Okay.
ميرسي.
Thank you. Giovanni. طيب, يمكن ما بدهم يحكوا. جانا.
بونجور.
هاي. كنت عم بسأل.
أنا صراحة الشي اللي كان
Yeah. Say.
الشي اللي كان إنه ناطرته من هيدا من كورس الفوتوشوب هو إنه اتعلم ضبط الريزولوشن تبع الصور وهيك.
Okay.
إيه وصرت أعرف.
How?
وقت نزلنا الفوتوشوب وصرت عم بعمل معك، بعدين صرت جرب شوف لحالي كمان كيف، وصرت أعرف.
Okay, good. Joe?
So my expectation from the session was to know more about how to pick small objects, remove them, add them, and so I did with the magic tool, the pencil.
طيب, وفي شيء تاني you would like to learn later on? This is what I am asking.
Yes, في شيء إنه they pick a car image and they make changes on it. So I would like to know more of how to make it.
Add different elements to one picture, for example. This is what you mean?
Yes, يعني they change the rims, maybe some they add some colors or some patterns. Don't know.
You weren't in the last session, I guess. Maybe
Bala,
watch the. Yes.
I got the patterns one, but rims, how they pick some rims from different cars and they put it on another car.
Yeah, okay. Majid.
Clone tool.
Clone tool. You would
Yes.
like me to explain more about the clone tool?
Yes.
Okay. Najwa?
إذا فينا نفوت شوي artistic، يعني مثلا لما نحن ندخل صورة على صورة، فكيف بنضبط الشادوز وهيك كرمال ما تبين إنه في.
Okay. You know, it's more, and you have to go more into details and work, you have to give time. So our time is limited, and some of you guys don't really know about basic tools. So عم ضيع شوي يعني كيف how to manage it, to be honest, if to go into detail or not. That's why. So later I'm gonna go into more detail and more detailed. Yes. Petra? إذا ما حابين تحكوا no problem. Hala, I was asking what you'd like to learn more about Photoshop. If there is something specific, it's okay. Shireen?
Yes, no, I'm just a beginner, and I like to know more about the tools, to know more about these tools we use in Photoshop, but it's fine. It's fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Tech news.
Sorry,
maybe YouTube thumbnails كيف نحط text مع صورة حتى يكون impressive ليوتيوب وما يبين
Okay.
just إنه text overlay يبين it's inside the picture like part
You
of the
want me to show some adding textures and adding text, I mean, on some images, and let's, for example, to how to make a poster.
not really أكتر بهمني thumbnail.
Thumbnail, okay. Widad. And Zahara, is any one of you would like to add something? I'm ready to hear you. I guess no. It's okay. So regarding the image, adding image on top of an image, I'll show something small for today. Maybe إذا لحقنا يعني I will show it fully and I'll present again. Yeah. Okay. So this was to add an image. I'm gonna open an image. Let's say shall I look for it? Let's say I took this girl here and I'm gonna try to add flowers to her body. Was this what you asked for? Forget. What was your name? I forgot. Jana, maybe?
يمكن أنا
Just 1 minute. Who are you? But it كانت Jana, I guess, or Najwa. I'm not so sure.
يمكن أنا
Yeah.
الصراحة عم بفكر إنه بشي أكثر unrealistic مثلا لما بدهم يضيفوا تنعتبر bedroom
Your
ونحط فيه
profile picture.
for example أو مثلا بنضيف fish كأنه floating in our bedroom على جو الأوشن أو شي هيك.
Something unrealistic. Okay. بس ما سمعتك فيلي على فكرة.
ايه عم قلك انه شيء مش رياليستيك، يعني مثلا بوك مفتوح تنعتبر طالع منه فورست او شيء هيك.
Okay. For now, I'm just gonna show a small example. And for next time, this will be our session, for example, fully to give it its full time. Okay?
اوكي شكرا.
Now I'm gonna add another image. Open this flowers here. I'm gonna copy it fully. Control A to select all. And copy, Control C. Add a new layer. And Control V. And I'm gonna multiply this layer several times. So I will click Control J to multiply it several times. I'm gonna just flip the image. Okay. So this is what we have. I'm just gonna create, I'm gonna merge the layers to have just one layer. So I
Can you
click
please
this.
repeat how you flipped the picture? Did you flip the flowers or it was one picture?
I flipped the flowers. What I used is the move tool and just converted from one side to the other, as Photoshop wasn't letting me flip the image from image part. Usually you can flip it from image to rotate. It wasn't letting me. It was flipping the image fully, so I did it manually. Okay, from sides. So I have now two layers. I'm gonna merge them together to have just one layer. I clicked the first layer and clicked Control to select another layer. And now I'll right click and go to merge layers. Be careful not to choose merge visibles. It will merge all the layers that are visible. So now I'll just merge this flower images. And here, what I'm gonna do is just close this flower layer and make a selection to the girl's skin. I'm not gonna choose the face. You can choose the face also. I'm just gonna make a small example of how it's possible. We chose the skin. I made a selection, so I have to copy it while I'm in this image and not the other one. Create a new layer and paste it. Once we pasted it here, now we have this skin part alone and the flowers just on top of it. So we have to make sure whatever we want to cover is covering it fully, not to have some other issues. What I'll be doing here,
بس سؤال
yes, sorry
كل
بس I can
خطوة بنعملها بنعمل layer جديد.
طبعا بسمع.
كل step بنعملها بنعمل layer جديد.
Please can you type it? It's okay. I couldn't hear you, that's why I'm asking you to type. It is better to make a new layer once you're creating, for example, you're making a selection or you're adding a new filter for you to be able to delete it later on, because it will be harder for you to remove it, let's say. But if you make a new layer, it will be easier for you to edit it, and it is preferable to keep the original ones as they are. For you, for example, if you want to edit something from the original one, you won't face a new issue. Okay. So what I did now is I have flowers on this skin. I will create a clipping mask, as you can see. It covered the body part, and this is the girl here. But as you can see, it is so weird and funny, and obviously it's not realistic. To have it a little bit more realistic in this term, it is better to make it multiply. And for example, color dodge will make it more realistic, but it made it lighter. So I'm gonna choose another image, another filter, lighten it. Didn't work. It is better to try them. For example, overlay. Overlay did work better. You have some funny parts here in the face. So what I'm gonna do is in this layer, I'm gonna add some more part of the face. So how can I do that? I'm gonna take my brush stroke and make it 0 hardness, little bit more. It is better to add some parts of the layer of the original layer here alongside with it to have it on the, so I'm gonna erase it. How can I erase this? I have to see only this part. I'm gonna make it a little bit more blurry, so we have to erase it, but I have to make the hardness into 0 or change the brush stroke and bigger size. And in this way, you won't have it fully cut. It is more smoother in this way, as you noticed. Okay. But let's say we want to remove it and have only the flower part without the shirt. It will be a little bit more complicated, and that's why I said I'm just gonna give a little bit small example, because as we run out of time, I won't be able to explain it fully for everyone. But I guess I got what you meant, right? it was close to what you asked for. We're done for today. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the chat.